What's going on, everyone? How are you? Hello, hello. Don, I will let you know that I've gone live. It's been a little while, but just keep that in mind.
All right.
Did you talk to our GLE 53 friend?
I did.
How'd that go?
Pretty well, actually.
Yeah?
She didn't say yes, but she said, you know, I'm glad you called. I said, you know, I was thinking after you left, you were intent on not wasting anybody's time, and, you know, because of the amount. I said, but you know, when I did the math on this, I said, oh, you're almost washing out of this clean.
Yeah.
Give me $939 and away you go.
Yeah.
She's like, wow. She goes, well, don't forget tax. I'm like, no, it's all in there. I said, tax, you're really literally paying zero tax because your tax credit $6,075, the tax is $661.29.
Right.
So I remember you said to me in kind of in passing, well, I was hoping to wash out clean on this, even though it's a hit, which is ugly. Let me remind you, now would be the time to do it. And $939.
Right.
Pretty good once we do the math. She goes, you know what? She goes, send it to me. Talk to my husband tonight.
Yeah, because whereas you had to pay MSRP for that Audi that you bought, right? We've given you a nice deal on
I said we stepped up on the discount on the trade. I mean, on the actual vehicle.
Right.
And 6K tax credits, 10K right there. So
Yep. Yep.
Things a little more palatable for you.
I agree.
She was, I won't use the word excited, but she was
At least a little bit more receptive.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There's that.
All right, cool. Well, let me know.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so we just had a local client stop in that bought an Audi SQ8 a couple months ago. Really doesn't like it. Had a GLE 43 coupe before that and preferred the ergonomics of the Mercedes-Benz quite a bit. And so, you know, it's just another example of the different motivations that people might have for wanting to trade out of a car so soon. I know sometimes I post these videos and people's head spins online, but if you get in a car day after day and you're just unhappy, like it makes you unhappy to be in that car, you'd be surprised at what people will do. Chelsea, thanks for stopping by. We are located in North Olmsted, Ohio, which is just on the west side of Cleveland. So, yeah, Scotty, the grass is I am live, so keep that in mind, Colin. All right? Yeah, don't come in here and say some Colin stuff.
Gotta put your glasses on to look nice for your peeps. Haven't had them on all day until just now.
My glasses have been on all day.
I'm just wired right now. I'm in a mood.
Okay, well, don't be in a mood in here.
No, I'm fine.
All right.
So happy.
Good. Do you suspect the used car market with tariffs will mirror the COVID era? I don't know if it's going to mirror what happened in COVID, but I can tell you that the used car market has definitely been coming up. The values on vehicles have shot up. Dealerships are paying a lot more for them suddenly. So, Jeff, how often do we come across 800 credit score? I'd say pretty often. And if not over 800, then it's pretty close. Bilal is 10K down, 772 a month on a GLE 350. That is 75K MSRP, a good deal. That sounds like a pretty good deal. Remember that your 10K down is about $300 a month that you're lowering the payment. So on a 75, that's about a 1075 payment with, you know, zero at signing. Mr. Mercedes, how you doing? Good to see you. Mario, we're in Cleveland, Ohio, west side of Cleveland. Kathy, I've really enjoyed finding you. Thanks for the content. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Always good to hear that people are enjoying it. Appreciate it very much. Ivan, afternoon to you. Jeff, do you think the pre-tariff hybrid cars will hold more value than before the possible removal of the $7,500 incentive? Well, good question. I've gotten kind of out of the prediction game. I don't like to predict what's going to happen in the future after how uncertain and crazy these last few years have been, but it does stand to reason that if tariffs stick around for a long time, then I think values will be elevated in general. I think that just makes sense that it would be that way. Tim, what is the cheapest new? Well, we don't like to use that word, Tim. Least expensive. CLAs tend to be the least expensive. CLA demos, those tend to be the least expensive. Seamus, hello from Ireland. Love the content. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And EJ from Newfoundland. Awesome. Watch all the time. Love it.
You're live.
I am live.
I need your help.
So don't come in here saying the crazy Angela stuff that you usually say.
I'd never say anything super crazy.
Are you looking at somebody's tire pressures?
Yeah, tire pressure, but it also tells me their brake pad life, which is good.
What kind of car is that?
This is a Chevy, some kind of truck, Silverado.
Weird. Does Chevy have like an app that measures
guess so.
people's brake life?
Yeah, so he sent me
Wow.
the current odometer and then the brake life, and yeah, weird.
Okay.
So I'm adding this into AccuTrade, and I just wanted to see. It looks like we're really close to his Carvana offer. Carvana gave him 49.
49K.
He wasn't even thinking about trading it in. He was like, I'm just gonna sell it to
What year is this?
23.
What kind of car? It's a Chevy what?
Silverado 1500.
When did you put it in? I don't see a 23 Silverado.
Just like 3 minutes ago. Should be in there.
That's weird. It shows make is Chev.
Oh, interesting.
I don't even know how that happened.
It's got 29,000 miles.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
So I don't think. Okay, condition. That's some pretty decent miles to have perfect condition, which is what you've got in here. What does it say for brake life?
Brake life, it says front's 82, rear's 87.
All right.
So I put in for brakes just in case. I mean, but it sounds like he's not going to need it.
No.
Um,
Shouldn't need brakes. And does he have a lot of highway miles on this car, maybe?
I didn't ask that, but I'm assuming.
But just conditionally on the car, anything at all.
I asked him if there's any dings, dents, scratches, anything we should know about. He says no dings. All maintenance has been done at the dealer. Oil is at 96%. Just changed it a week ago. Tires are supposed to have 60,000 miles capability to them, I guess.
Yeah, those are probably about 50%,
Yeah.
which I see you have in here.
And then what else? He just said something else. Oh, he said he just now said 2 small scratches on the bed.
On the tailgate, or does he not have a bed liner?
Tailgate or the
On the bed is a little vague, like inside the bed, on top of the.
Let's see. Any photo? Oh, he just sent me photos. But I have no idea where this is.
Can I see?
Yeah.
That looks like the top of the tailgate. Okay. Well, I appreciate his honesty.
Yeah,
Thank you.
He's like live typing.
So we're at 49.2.
Oh, cool. So slightly higher than his Carvana. They were at 49.
Oh wait, hold up. You've got a duplicate tire thing in here. You had a replaced tire.
Oh.
We're at 49,725.
Okay. 49,725. Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty. Let's see. Is 25 C300 worth buying, or should you go for a 24 slightly used? If you're gonna buy it, then looking for a 24 slightly used or even a 24 demo would be a good move if you can. I don't want to dissuade somebody from buying, but cars like C300s are volume cars. They're really, if you're gonna keep it for a long, long time, go ahead and buy it. But they lease very well. Something to consider. Any Geely coupes for sale like 2022 Brown Eyes? I'd have to take a look at my pre-owned inventory. I'm not entirely sure that we have one of that vintage, but I will check for you. Anne Marie from Phoenix, Arizona. I've learned more than I've ever wanted to about lease deals since I've been watching you. Well, I'm glad that you've picked up on some things about leasing. I know that we do talk about it a lot, and it's just because I believe in it for more people than maybe they realize. I know it can come off as a little much at times, but I think more people are candidates for leasing than they might realize. So the only Geely coupe I have pre-owned is a 24 Geely 63. I don't have any 53s currently. What's up?
Everyone's ready to film. He started live stream.
Are you ready?
No.
If you're ready, let me know.
We're all ready, but
Like you're ready, like you're set up, and you just need me to walk in and.
We'll do it at 6 then. We'll do it. Give you a couple more minutes to let you.
Well, I just started, so I'd rather cancel and restart after filming.
Let's just do it. We'll do
Just
it
let me
at
know when you're ready.
6.
All right.
Just tell me yay or nay. Envy of Atlantic City?
Yeah, that's fine. I know them.
Yes! Yes!
All right.
You know everybody.
Russ, what's up from Boston? Love the content. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate you watching. Donnie, every car dealer should be taking notes right now. I appreciate you, Donnie. That's very kind of you to say. Is a 2015 G550 with 80K miles, $51,000 of good deals, built to last, blacked out with red interior. The money sounds pretty good on that. Reese, I'll tell you that G-Wagons will go forever, but you do want to make sure it's got a good service history. And keep in mind there are going to be some issues that you'll run into. Notably, they tend to rust as they get older. So you might want to look for that, check the car for rust, especially up along the drip rails up on the top of the car. That's a common place that you might find it.
Good, Jason.
I saw that, yeah. Awesome, thank you. I just saw.
I'm calling the first back on it because they should not let that one walk at all.
Huntington?
Yeah. But dude, like, I don't care if that dude made 200, let alone 400. Like,
Yeah, that was a little nitpicky, it seemed to me.
comp auto and 850 credit, what are you talking about?
Right. Can you give me a Ford F-150? I mean, World of Lewis, if I had a pre-owned F-150, then I could, but I don't sell them new. Charlie, hi from Norway. Love the content. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. For anyone who's new here and you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow. And for anybody on YouTube, if you could subscribe. And anyone who watches me on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or anywhere else, if you're not subscribed on YouTube already, I know it's a pain in the butt to open that up and subscribe, but it's the same thing, BenzsandBowties. And YouTube is kind of the one channel where I get to do different stuff because YouTube likes longer videos. So there's some fun, longer videos on there that don't make it to Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and everything else. So if you could subscribe over there, that would mean a lot to me because I want to be able to have some fun with the things that I do on YouTube and do some longer videos and really give you like A to Z, start to finish, behind the scenes type of, with deals and, day in the life and all that kind of fun stuff. And I don't want to say that you're limited a little bit by TikTok and Instagram, but you really, if you go anything above 3 minutes on a video there, people just kind of tend to drop off. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube, it would definitely mean a lot, assuming that you like the content. And that's just another way to show your support, which I'm very, very thankful for. Adam, are the EQE and S the only electric Mercedes with real world range over 300? Yes, 100%. So both of those will do over 300 without much issue, especially in the warm weather. The EQB would be a little bit below that, as with the G580. So how does your dealership deal with customer chargebacks? I mean, there's really nothing you can do. You just got to take it on the chin and move on. So best SUV to get into for a first-time client. GLA, GLB, GLC, those are kind of the entry cars. GLA and GLB are entry-level vehicles. GLC, definitely a big step up in luxury, but a lot of people will start there. Russ, can you talk about the S-Class facelift? So all I can tell you is that that's going to be happening for calendar year 2026, so hopefully we get that a little bit early in 2027. Don't know for sure. We don't have significant details yet, but it is going to be a pretty significant change up. They're not calling it a new generation, but they have said that a lot of thought has gone into that because the S-Class is obviously a very important vehicle for the brand. So I'm very interested to see what they do. I would expect an interior that is more in line with what the E-Class has now, if you've seen the new E-Class. But again, we're still light on details other than we know it's coming for next year. Big Rat, no, I've not only I got my start at a Ford dealership, so I had 3 brief months at a Ford store right when I got into the business. That's kind of how I fell in love with the business. But then from there, I was with Mercedes-Benz, and then I was in Columbus, Ohio before moving back to Cleveland, Ohio. I had about 9 months at a Porsche store. That was my first opportunity to be a sales manager, was at a Porsche store. And so that is that's my other favorite brand, if you will. I look like Shaun White, like the snowboarder.
You know Sean, what is?
The snowboarder? I'm thinking of somebody else.
He was like when I was growing up, he was like a really popular snowboarder. Like he was like the Tony Hawk of snowboarding.
Yeah, he still is.
I don't think you can do that anymore.
The guy who looks like Carrot Top?
Yeah, but like darker.
But how do I look like that?
I don't know.
I don't have long
that's a
red
stretch.
hair.
That's a stretch. Maybe it's the bone structure. Maybe someone analyzed your cheekbones. Speaking of which, can you analyze this appraisal?
Bro, I can't even read that.
An S550 Maybach?
Mm-hmm.
I think they call it Maybach.
Maybach.
Maybach music.
Too funny.
Oh, Jared special. A
What?
conditionally perfect 2017.
It's not a Jared special. Usually I always do 2 chips on the hood and 2
There's
chips on
nothing
the
in here.
Yeah, because it's actually pretty clean.
So, what am I supposed to do with this?
I don't know.
It-
Prove it.
It's got brand new tires, doesn't need brakes, doesn't have a single rock chip on the car,
Go ahead,
nothing's
take a
wrong
look
with it
at
at
the
all.
Photos. God,
Bro, it's a 2017 with 34,000 miles, so
that's clean.
unless he's been driving it in bubble wrap for the last 8
Well,
years.
You tell me all the time that PPF has no value.
I never said that.
Nah, I have it recorded.
Mm-mm-mm. Okay, I mean, yeah, it looks nice, but I mean, it can't be perfect. That's just
Okay,
not
so then
possible.
What do you want to put, mate? What do you want to put? Do you want to do brakes? Tires?
Has he ever changed brakes?
He didn't specify.
Did you ask?
I said.
Why do you do this to me? I just have resigned myself to the fact that we will have to have the same conversation over and over and over again. It's okay. I still love you, even though it drives me crazy, and you're going to give me a lot of gray hair. But let's look at the Carfax.
Show me the Carfax.
Headlight replaced. I wonder what happened there.
I'm not a rocket scientist, but I suspect the headlight might have needed to be replaced.
Oh, we replaced it here. Why don't you find out?
There's no one here.
There's no one in service.
No.
They're still open.
Dude, 5 o'clock there. It was like a ghost town.
Did we replace it because it stopped working? Did we replace it because they hit something?
I think you should focus on the fact that there's a brand new headlight.
Brother, it's a Maybach. Okay, I need to know.
What do you need to know about it?
Why did the headlight get replaced? That's what I need to know.
This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous that you don't think it's important to check. And it doesn't look like brakes have ever been replaced, so.
He says at 33,000 miles he did brakes, and he said 33,000 miles you guys serviced. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's
Not helpful.
not brakes. And that was, by the way, in October of 23. It had 33012 when it was here. And now in April of 25, it has 34036. So he's driven 1,000 miles in a year and a half. Just want to confirm that.
Yes. That's why he's selling it, because he doesn't drive it.
So are the tires could be dry rotted.
Now you're just reaching.
Dude, listen, I love you. And I want to be clear about this. I want to pay people as much money as humanly possible for their cars. It makes it easier, okay? But if the tires are smoked and the brakes are original and the car's messed up, then we have to change all of that to resell it. That's just the way it works.
The headlights was a warranty issue because it kept falling. That's what he just said.
Okay, cool. And, all right, so I'm going to assume that it needs tires and brakes. I think it's a, tough one here. There's 5 of them in the country for sale. It's not
Here's
very
the
helpful.
other thing too is most of the photos that are in that photo album are not what he sent me. Those are already pre-generated, which means he's shopping this car left, right, and center.
What do you mean they're
He's-
pre-generated? Is the car listed for sale?
That's what I'm saying. Yes. Yeah. All those images. Yeah, he's got it online for sale, dude. He's not getting the numbers that he wants.
Oh, so he's listing it for sale now. What does he have it listed for?
I just saw photos.
right, we need to search the VIN.
Thanks.
Well, John, when the car is here, yes, but a lot of our deals, the car's not here for me to actually look at.
No, I'm just reading what people are saying. Just trying to
Cole, thank you for the sunglasses, brother. I appreciate you. All right, so the car is listed. Here it is on cars.com. Let's pull it up.
Basically, you're supposed to say.
So he's got it listed for
Yeah, this thing's heavy.
60,900.
See what I mean?
Nobody spelled your name right either.
That's okay. So you must be talking about the other one.
The other one.
He's got it online for 60,900
Okay, good. So what do we do?
with incorrect miles, by the way. I think it's a $50,000 car.
I think you forgot a zero.
That doesn't even make sense.
I think makes a lot of sense.
All right, so that's the number, 50,025. Don't go spending it all in one place. All right. Angelo, what can I do for you?
So if this guy only wants to put a portion, because he's got some positive equity in that truck.
Yep.
If he wants to only put a portion of that down, how do I reflect it in?
Is he leasing or buying?
Leasing.
Okay, so it's a little more complicated because he'll get a
Yeah.
tax credit on the equity.
Okay.
All right, so we basically, is the car paid off?
No, he's financing through GM Financial.
Okay, do you know what his payoff is?
Yeah, he said it to me. I mean, I haven't called yet, but it's 24,321.69.
Okay.
22,321.69.
So then what you need to do is you need to find out how much equity he wants to put down.
Okay.
And his car was worth what, like 40?
49.
49.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's got about $25,000 in equity.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say he wants to put $5,000 of that towards the car.
Yeah.
Then we would need to, for the purposes of the worksheet,
Yeah.
increase his payoff by the difference between how much equity he wants to use and the amount that he wants to take back.
Okay, so if he only wants to, let's say he's got a $30,000 payout, if he only wants to put 5 down on a $50,000 trade.
Then we would need to add $15,000 to his payoff amount.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Right.
Cool. All right. Thanks.
There you go.
Did he put brand new tires and brakes on the car? Because it does not say that in the Carfax.
This is Jared. Yeah, you said that it
Okay.
needed a service.
All right. What's up? A friend of mine has been, let's see, 2012 S63, been daily driving over 100K miles, been bulletproof for him. Yeah. I mean, AB, here's the thing. These cars are very reliable if they're taken care of properly. If you don't take care of them properly, then you're going to have issues with them. And that's what ends up happening, is that a lot of people buy luxury cars and then they don't do what they're supposed to do. Like they'll do very basic oil changes at best, and that's where you start running into problems. So thank you for everyone who's liking the live stream and sharing it and everything else. Thank you to everyone who's a new follower. If you're not following already, please follow. I would appreciate that very much. And yeah, thanks to everyone on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and everyone else that's hanging out today. I really appreciate that. Matthew, love you too, brother. Let's see. Sarah, thank you for the roses. Very kind of you. Brett, are you agency in USA like the UK? No, we are independent franchises here in the States. What do clients buy for their kids typically? I've seen a little bit of everything. I've seen GLA, GLB, C-Class, GLC. I've seen some very expensive stuff. I've seen G-Wagons before. I've seen GLE Coupes before. It just depends, right? Everyone's different. Oh, Drew, what's going on, brother? Yeah, Drew was here in person today. Thanks for stopping by. It was nice meeting you. And Drew, I'm gonna, if you check in with me every now and then, if you take any of the unsolicited advice that we gave you today, then I would expect some big things for you in your real estate career. So hopefully you'll take that and run with it, because let me be proof that anybody that commits to social media strategy, right, the sky's the limit. It's just a matter of putting yourself out there and putting in the work to do it. So, worst credit score you've seen get approved? I've seen low 500s get approved before, maybe even upper 4s, just depending on the scenario. Megan, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. CLA 45 or C43 coupe? Depends on what you want, Zoe. I mean, CLA 45 will be more fun, more of a true AMG experience. C43 will be more luxurious. So.
I didn't see tires on there, but
This is just a warranty claim for the headlight.
yeah, but it says brakes right at the top. It says invoice for service.
Oh, I'm looking at a different. Oh, I was just on the second page. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, perfect. All right, so new shoes all around. All right, 52,100. Alrighty. But again, we're gonna have to confirm that it's got no physical blemishes whatsoever, because again, we're assuming that this is an absolute perfect car. You know what I mean? So, is there a preferred brand of bow tie? Not particularly. I mean, Bird Dog Bay I like quite a bit. Their Fun Vineyard Vines has really nice ties, but as some of you may know that have been watching my content for a long time, part of the fun with the bow ties is that I've never bought one for myself. They've all been gifts over the years. So, it started with gifts from friends and family, and then obviously in the last 9 months I've gotten some social media followers have been kind enough to send in some ties, which is really fun. But I don't actually go buy them myself. So it's been a totally randomly curated collection of whatever people have gotten for me. So, I'm not like an expert on where the best bow ties are from. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of cool ones out there. Lane, high performance car with 95,000 miles, engine light, get it fixed first, or take what the dealer will give. I think it depends on what the engine light is, but I would say that most of the time that you're going to trade in a car that needs service work, you'll not get that money back, right? So you're better off just trading it and let the dealer do the work for you. Why not discuss the standing per month of sales associates? Would be interesting to see who's leading each month towards the end. Well, I'm not trying to totally air that out publicly for all of them, but I can tell you that most months, it's rare if Colin is not the sales champion on the new car side, and over on the used car side, the two contenders that typically alternate the crown are Aaron and Amra. So if you're, we have two rooftops because of how we're kind of landlocked, but obviously it's an open floor, so everybody can sell everything, but we do have a new car building and a pre-owned building. So Colin tends to sell the most new cars, and Aaron or Amra are typically the used car champions. So, we have a lot of good people here for sure, but some just they push a little harder than others. You know what I mean? So, what's the best car to lease from Mercedes for first-time buyers with Tier 1 credit? I think the C-Class is a great place to start, or the GLB if you're looking for an SUV. Those are two great places to start, great entries to the brand, right? I always recommend everybody, if it's your first Mercedes-Benz and you're not making big money, don't go too big too soon, right? You want to work your way up. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with a huge payment. So I had 3 C-Classes were my first 3 cars that I leased. They were great vehicles. They were payments that I could manage. excellent cars. So,
No, I appreciate that.
Danny, I would say right now there's really great programs on C-Class, GLA, GLB. Those are the, and CLE. CLE. If anybody that's looking for a convertible or a coupe, you can get a great deal on the CLEs. What is the best? Good night, Terry. What is your best advice for what you did to grow your socials? Talking comics, the best advice I can give you is just to make sure you're posting at least one thing every day, no excuses. That is what I did to get kind of the ball rolling. And some days it'll be harder than others, but I think that what happens is I liken it kind of like to going on a diet or going to the gym. If you just do it really hard and you're really committed to it for a very short period of time, you're probably not going to see any results, and so most people just give up immediately. But it doesn't really work like that. Like it takes some time, right? You've got to be every day doing a little bit, and then it just starts to build and build and build. So you're always going to be able to find a reason not to do it. It's so easy to find reasons to talk yourself out of doing it every day. But don't worry even about the content, right? It might not be good, but just get in the habit of doing it every day. Virtual Kyle just saw the most tricked out EQV electric van in my hotel parking garage in Hong Kong, watching the live, waiting for a coffee shop to open up. That's awesome. I really hope that's the EQV, the electric van, which is rumored to be coming to the States. I've always, for as long as I've been with this brand, I really have hoped that Mercedes-Benz would bring a van stateside. I think it would do very well. A lot of people like the minivans for the utility and the convenience they provide. Mercedes has disagreed. They seem to think that market's already dominated by Honda and Toyota and that they wouldn't do well, but I think they would. I really, really do. So I hope they bring that. I mean, it would be nice if we had an ICE and an EV, but I'll take anything we can get, really. What's up?
I just want to be involved.
What do you mean?
I don't know, people like seeing my smiling face too, so
Okay.
I'm not trying to be like, I'm in a very weird.
Brett, really enjoy your post and channel. Thanks for letting us behind the curtain. My pleasure, Brett. Thanks for watching. Why aren't E-classes selling? Is it going to be axed? E-classes are selling. It's just Americans buy less and less sedans every year, and the E-class is kind of in an interesting price point. It's not the entry-level price point, and it's not the super high-end price point. So I think that the middle price points for sedans is starting to get squeezed a little bit. You know, I think that people, if they're getting a sedan, they either want to go all the way up to the S or they want something affordable, like a CLA or a C. So yeah, it's too bad, because I love the E-Class. I think is the E-Class and the GLE are the best values that you can get in the brand.
We sold quite a few last month.
Right, and here's the thing. At some point, the E-Class won't be the brand new, totally redesigned car anymore, and it will be incentivized, and when that happens, the numbers will shoot up on it. You know, so some of our cars are just cyclical. Once they get incentivized, that's when people start flocking to them. Euphoria, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for the roses. John, Doug, being in the business for years and in the last 25 years working for a leading manufacturer, it's a credit to you to show full transparency on the buying process. Kudos to you. Thank you, John. I really do appreciate that. I know that, you know, it's interesting. I know that consumers really appreciate the behind-the-scenes look and the transparency. I feel like now that I've been doing this for a while and my videos circulate more commonly, I'm starting to get you know, some car dealerships that are none too pleased with the transparency, which is, I guess, not to be it's not unexpected. It is a little disappointing when, you know, your colleagues, but I get it, right? That's kind of why I do what I do, is that I understand that the industry has a well-earned reputation because there's so many dealerships out there that just don't want to be transparent, and I hate to say that because that means that you as the consumer often are suffering because of it. But this is why it is so important for car buyers to do some research before you pick a dealership. Like, as hard as that is, car buyers get fixated on the car they want to buy, and then they kind of just get stuck with the dealership, whoever it is. But pick the dealership and let them find the right car for you, because the more that dealers doing shenanigans are supported, then the harder it's going to be to get these issues fixed. And I also want to be clear about one more thing, because this is, I think, a common or not a common misconception, but it's sometimes a misconception when people reach out to us. Sorry, one sec. Everything that we do here, the way we've shifted a lot. We've always been easy to do business with, but in the last 6 months especially, we've made numerous process changes to make it even easier than before, including going to our best price right up front 100% of the time. I know that even summer of last year, we still were, there was a little bit of negotiation here and there, but we got rid of that entirely.
And it's been working in our favor.
Yeah, and it honestly...
People appreciate it because they literally like, oh, thank God you're not one of those places where I'm going to be here for hours.
Yeah. I mean, it already was easy to work with us, but now I feel like it's even easier. And honestly, we've gotten so busy that we just don't even have time for it. But what I wanted to say is that there are some people, I think, that see my videos and think that we're going to be like the least expensive Mercedes-Benz that you can buy in the country. And that's not the case. If you have unlimited time and you want to shop around, then you will be able to find somebody that will do it for less. What we will do for you is that it's going to be a really, really good deal up front that will take you 20 seconds to get. And ideally, we're going to make it the easiest car buying process that you've ever bought. When people tell me about horror stories about spending all day at the dealership, no, not us. Like, if you want to come here, we can have you in and out really fast if that's what you want. If you want to hang out, then by all means, but we're never going to be like the cheapest game in town. So some people reach out and they're like, oh, I can get a similar deal at my local dealer. It's like, well, yeah, maybe, but
Why?
are they going to make it? Well, no, it's not that. It's just, are they going to make it easy? Maybe not. I don't know. So we're just all about making it easy, and you get a great deal guaranteed. And most of all, I think the best thing is that what I've really realized, what's really been hammered home to me lately, Colin, is that there are so many dealers out there that are still not, like, they don't ask people about things like AAA or USAA because they don't want to have to give that money up if they don't have to. And what it means is that, like, some people, because they're asking questions and they push harder, are getting really good deals, but then a lot of other people are getting just ripped off.
Hey there.
And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So by giving everybody the best price right up front and then asking you some questions to see what, other incentives you might qualify for, there is no chance that you can get ripped off or pay more than somebody else did just because you didn't fight, if that makes sense. We don't want people to feel like they have to fight and get confrontational to get a good deal, right? That's not, because a lot of people aren't that way. So anyway, Addison working with Amy and Genty now to see if we can get my wife into a GLB. Your team is some of the best customer service and follow-up in the business. Love the videos. Addison, that's awesome. I hope that we can make it work out for you. Would you buy a service loaner? Absolutely, John. Service loaners are great deals. Yeah, and again, John, a lot of this has been learned over the years, right? When I was new in sales for the first many years of my sales career, I had the same kind of training that a lot of us get in this business, which is, hey, get the deal, say this, right? Do whatever you got to do to get the deal. And it was a very short-term mindset, and I learned over time, after getting surrounded by the right people, that you got to start looking at it as a long-term game. And, okay, maybe we're going to make a little bit less money selling cars, but if we can do it more quickly and people love the experience and they have fun and they want to come back and send their friends and family, then it's like Simon Sinek says, it's the infinite game. It just keeps going and going and going. And you have to start, you don't have to work as hard moving forward. Oliver Fragrance Co., what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Oliver Fragrance Co. was super generous to send me a little care package of candles and fragrances. Didn't know they were doing that, other than they just said, hey, we want to send you something, and I said send it to the dealership. Really, really great stuff. That was incredibly kind of you. So anybody that is into that sort of thing, nice candles and scents, etc., give them a click. Check them out.
Yeah, let me know. I'm always.
Let's see. The only thing I was not super happy about when leasing my current vehicle was the dealer claimed they could not disclose the exact money factor. Yeah, they can. Of course they can. That's insane. Service department hiring, Clayton, always. Always, always, always. Mindy Lou, thank you. Very kind of you. If your lease is already started and you need more miles, can you still prepay for more miles? With most brands, yes. If you have a Mercedes, yes. You can call them and tell them that you want to add pre-purchased miles, and they will spread it out over your lease. Darkstar, thank you. Appreciate you loving the content. Thank you to everyone who's in here hanging out and watching. Please make sure you're hitting the like button and the thumbs up button to support the live stream. And if you're not following already, I would kindly ask you to please follow. And I'll ask again for everyone on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok to, if you're not following me already on YouTube, I know it's a pain in the butt to go to YouTube and open that up, but if you could follow me there, or subscribe, I should say, is proper a term for YouTube, that would mean a lot to me, because I definitely, all my videos kind of go out on all the platforms, but on YouTube I get to do some fun, longer videos because YouTube likes the longer stuff, and I want to be able to interact with everybody there, and I want you all to be able to see the longer stuff, because a lot of times I'll get people on the shorter videos that are like, oh, what happened? Or, you leave us on a cliffhanger, they want more information, and on YouTube I can show you that more easily. I can't really do like a 10-minute video or a 20-minute video on TikTok. Nobody would watch that. So yeah, if you're not already subscribed on YouTube, that would mean a lot if you took a moment to do that. And yeah, it just, I enjoy providing value. At least I hope that's what I'm doing for all of you. And so I appreciate all the support. That's really all I can say, is that it means a lot to me that you all support. Naya, thank you for the balloons. Good to see you as always. Kevin, is it important that your bow tie stay level and straight? No, not really. I know that probably is it might be driving you crazy. I know it drives some people crazy. Part of I kind of like it. I know a lot of people hate it, but because they're all bow ties that I tie myself, they are not, they're not like perfectly pre-made, and they do tend to get a little bit wonky and crooked as I move around throughout the day. For me, that's kind of part of the, it gives them character, I like to say, but for some people it definitely, the OCD kicks in and they're like, hey, you gotta, let me, like, people will come up to me sometimes and they'll be like, let me fix that real quick. Usually people more my parents' age, right, they kind of have no fear about just grabbing your bow tie and adjusting it for you. But am I always catch you while working a deal? I'm good to see you as always. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good month. The day in the life videos are where you can really show the process and make a difference. Yes, John, and that is definitely, if there's an appetite for demand for that, then I really want to do that. So they're much more involved to make them, but I do want to make them. I just need to, it probably requires me hiring an editing team that would specifically help me to do that. And it's expensive, so I don't want to do that without knowing that there's a big appetite for that. So if there's really only an appetite for the shorter videos, then probably not going to fork over the money to get an editing team to help me with those longer videos. So M's dealership hit a record last month, 450 plus units. That's awesome. That's awesome. Schroeder, is it possible to ship a trade to you? Absolutely. Absolutely. So for anybody that is considering doing business with us or is curious about how it works, you don't have to come to the dealership. Most of our out-of-state deals are totally remote. We'll never actually meet those people in person. Once the deal is done, we ship the new car to you. We ship your trade back to us. We do it 20 to 40 times a month, if not more than that. Probably even more than that. 30 to 50 to 60 times a month. So Cody's dad had an ML320 CDI. Nice. Had a turbo diesel. Love it. Those were great cars for sure. Can you do a video on the number identifier with MB vehicles? A Roadnets, are you talking about the numbers in the model? If so, I can definitely. They don't really mean as the significance is no longer there really, but I can give you kind of like some tips and tricks on how to understand those. So it used to be that the numbers that followed the letter, right? The letter defines the model class, the numbers defined the engine in some way, and they used to line up with the displacement and the size of the engine. Right, so an ML320 was like a 3.2 liter V6 turbo diesel, right? So you usually would drop the 0 at the end and you would know the displacement of the engine, right? So when we had 55 AMGs, those were 5.5 liter V8 engines. E350s, ML350s, back when we had those, used to have 3.5 liter V6 engines. Well, the problem is that around 2015, when these new kind of CAFE standards started kicking in and governments of the world sort of started to mandate that engines get, or that, you know, emissions get lowered and you know, vehicles become more fuel efficient, what everyone had to start doing was they had to start downsizing their engines to make them more fuel efficient, less emissions, et cetera, et cetera. So what started happening is Mercedes was no longer able to produce vehicles with big displacements that matched up with the number in the model, right? So a GLE 350 as we know it now went from a 3.5 liter V6, and now that engine is a 2 liter 4-cylinder. Now it's turbocharged, so the power is very similar, but Mercedes looked at it like, we can't go from GLE 350 to GLE 200, right? Because in the mind of the consumer, it would not look good to be going backwards. So they've kind of held steady, but those numbers now really don't have meaning like they used to. Dean, good to see you. Thank you. I need to start a donation jar for every time someone says negative equity, and at the end of the day, you donate your money to charity. That's a cool thought. That's a cool. I mean, if it's only me donating, I'll go broke. But maybe we can get the internet to contribute to that donate jar. That would be pretty fun. So interest rates are definitely starting to come down. Starting to see low to mid 6% range pretty regularly, even high 5s every now and then. Mercedes has some special rates, which is unusual. They don't typically do that. What's up?
Responded to our friend's email.
Okay.
If you want to look at it while we're on the live, you don't have to give a name, but I thought my response was appropriate.
You have a little bit of a air about you right now. Are you annoyed?
I am. Because people watch your videos and understand how we do business, but yet they still come back and try to play games, and that's fine.
Well, they're not. Look,
not playing games. It's just
if he got an offer for 22 grand at CarMax, I would sell it immediately.
That's what I said. I'm
That's
like,
amazing.
you don't have to trade into me.
Yeah.
But I can't move on my offer. So I just don't know why people still ask when they watch our content. They understand.
They
what we do.
okay. Whoa, calm down. They ask because they've been trained to do that their whole life.
Right.
And they may not, just because they watch the content doesn't mean they remember everything that we ever talk about. Okay?
I'm not
So
saying this person's bad. It's just
no.
It's just it's like,
Why wouldn't you ask, right? If you go to CarMax and they come out with some crazy number on the trade,
that's what I said in the email reply. I'm just like,
Yeah.
no problem. Sell it to them. Absorb the equity.
100%.
Use it as a down payment.
100%.
Let me know if you want to move forward.
Yeah, that CarMax is hitting that car at what I think it retails for.
That above retail.
Yeah. So if CarMax thinks it's worth
AccuTrade's retail numbers between 19.7 and 20,580.
Yeah, and look, that might be off by a little bit, but if CarMax is paying 22 grand, my God.
Go take the equity and then
Of course.
buy the car for me.
Of course, absolutely. So, all right. What else do we got? I'm probably doing.
I don't want everyone to think that I'm. That
You get a little
Colin
fired-
Everyone loves is like an idiot or doesn't like me. It's a frustration because
You're just emotional, Colin. Sometimes you get a little emotional. That's okay. I know that about you, and you know we can deal with it.
Sure, getting roasted right now. That's okay.
I don't know, maybe.
What?
No, I just.
Also, Bill and Jen cannot take the 580E until May, so please don't put that on the log.
I didn't.
To release to carrier.
Why can't they take it until
Because
then?
they're doing 2 trade-ins, and both trades are in South Carolina. They're driving back first week of May
All right.
towards the lease.
That's
We're
fine.
gonna lease the car because he's afraid that he's gonna lose if he buys it cash.
No, he should lease it. Yeah, it's safer.
He's like, there's too much unknowns with G580s. I'm like, okay.
CJ Keller says he feels like you roasted yourself, which I feel like you kind of did. Kind of roasted yourself a little bit.
How'd I roast myself?
Dana,
I'm in like a fun today. I'm sorry.
that's all right. I can tell. First day back from vacation.
It's difficult.
Dana, I will tell you that Jared is exactly the same person that you see on camera, for better or worse, right? You might, if you find that entertaining or not, that is who he is.
It's frustrating.
It annoys Colin, but that's just because Colin is not the same person as Jared. Dean says, turn that passion into action, Colin. I couldn't agree more.
With what I said?
Just turn the passion that you have right now into action instead of sitting there drinking your Diet Coke.
No, I responded to the
So,
email. I was
how do you
making
decide if it's going to be a Diet Coke or a regular Coke?
I told you, Tim Fetterman told me I need to cut off regular pot. So he said instead of drinking like what I was doing, which is absurd, and I don't want to be killed on this live, I'm only drinking 3 of these a day. So this is number 3, so I'm done for the day. And then when I come home,
They're
I'll
all
drink water.
Diet Coke is no
He said
better
it's
for you.
better than regular.
Depending on how you define
He's
better.
also a client who's bought 3 cars from me, so.
Let's see, Mike. I love your transparency. Hey, the other guy offered me more than that makes sense. So it's no harm, no foul. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why I said in the email.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Yusuf, what's up, brother? Thanks for the hat. Look, here's the
I
thing.
said that in the email. I'm like, take your 16 grand, use it towards a down payment then.
Yeah.
I'm like, you not have to trade into me.
The beauty of like CarMax or Carvana is that if they do appraise the car for significantly higher, to the point that a tax credit would be washed out,
It's $3,800
then
difference.
just sell it to them because it's a real number. Right now, most dealerships, a lot of times, if they give you a number that is much higher than ours, it's going to be contingent on you buying a car from them, which means that it's not a real number. But here's the thing. Yeah, I want your trade, but if you're going to get several $1,000s more from CarMax, then sell it to them and then buy the car from me, right? Ultimately, I want to sell you a car. I'm not going to like hold up the deal over your trade, right? I mean, it's right. I mean, look, I want you to get the most money you possibly can for it. So, but yeah, I don't blame people for saying, hey, CarMax did this or Carvana did that. Yeah, kick the trade, exactly. So, I mean, it's, again, some dealerships really get all twisted up about that, and but then I feel like that's where the trust gets lost. Like for me, if somebody told me, hey, I'll give you 17 grand for your trade, and then I said, oh, well, CarMax gave me 22, and then I was like, okay, I'll give you 19. Well, then, right, how can I possibly believe anything that this person is telling me at that point? Right, so it's like, okay, so you said 17, then I mentioned CarMax, and now all of a sudden you have another 2 grand that magically appeared out of thin air. Like, how can anyone feel good about that?
That's what I'm saying. Like going back to someone after that, then you'd be like, oh my God, you were hiding money from me. It's like,
well, people all the time, they're like, no, I would be thrilled. And it's like, no, you wouldn't.
no, you wouldn't.
No, you
Deep
wouldn't.
down,
You
you'd
say
be
that.
annoyed and pissed off that it wasn't the best price to do it up front.
Right? But that's how most dealerships do it.
With the sales tax savings on the trade, we're still $3,800 apart. So
Tyler, if I buy a car from you from New Hampshire and take delivery here in New Hampshire, does the no tax apply? Yeah, of course. You pay taxes where you live and where the car is being registered, not from the car that you buy it in. So yeah, you live in New Hampshire, you wouldn't pay sales tax. So, you ready? Okay. I got to go film a video with Jared. So we're not a day late here, but thanks for everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you're not following already, please follow. If you haven't gone over to YouTube yet, please do that. Subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. We'll get back in the routine of doing the daily lives because this is fun, and I hope that you all like the Q&A. But anyway, thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you all very much. Darkstar, thank you.